What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingnews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. All right, let's go to Keeneland Friday, October 11th. Race 9 on the card. It will be the Sycamore Stakes, grade 3 event going a mile and a half. $300,000 the person. This one should be an awfully good race here. Always kind of a fun Friday at Keeneland. That's one of the few racetracks where you do kind of get that Friday feel where it's a big race on a day that's not a Saturday or Sunday. So let's pull it up now. Let's get to it. A field of 11 will contest this year's running of the Sycamore. We'll go through them one by one, and then we'll pick a winner. All right, let's go to the number one, Verstappen, to kick things off here. And Verstappen, he just seems like a horse that eats a lot of money if you're betting this horse to win. I will say that right off the bat. I say that because he usually shows up in races where it looks like he's got a decent shot to win, and he's really good to decent odds as well. And so he gets a lot of play all the time. Now, this horse is only 4 for 19. However, like I said, he eats money if you bet him to win. If you bet him to place or show, or you put him in on bottoms of tries, exactas, supers, he is 12 of 14 hitting the board. So that's good as well. Now, let's talk about more good news if you want to bet this horse to win. He was a winner of the Elkhorn way back in, 2023, of April of 2023. He won the Elkhorn. That's kind of the spring version of this race. The Elkhorn's a mile and a half. This race is a mile and a half. So kind of give you a good idea that he can do it. Now, the bad news is that was his last victory. And the other bad news is we haven't seen him in 202 days. We last saw him at Turfway Park, which is getting ready to open here not too long. I guess we got it, about a month or month and a half. But anyway, Verstappen, he's a pass for me in this one. I need to kind of see him back in form, maybe down the line. That's one we'll look at again. All right, Cathkin Peak, the number 2 horse, is who we've got next. This horse is coming off of a mile and a half race at Kentucky Downs where he was 6th. He did win a stakes at Saratoga going a mile and 5/8, the John's Call, and he won that race very easy by 5 lengths. This is a horse that at times can jump up and run very, very big. And I think if he can run that type of race that he ran up at Saratoga, he'll be tough in this spot. But can he do it again? I think that's the big question, and I'm not quite sure on that. So another one, wouldn't be shocked, but kind of not for me in this spot. The number 3 is Highway Robber. This horse is kind of for me in this spot. I don't think I'll put him on top of a horse that I will play, I would think, in the multis and maybe in exactas and trifectas. Highway Robber last time out was 2nd, only beaten a half length in the grade 2 up at Kentucky Downs, going a mile and a half. Won a mile and a quarter race 2 races back at Ellis Park, which was the local prep race for that Kentucky Downs event. And since, the stretching out, those are his 2 races since stretching out, and both have been pretty good. So I think Highway Robber in there with a big chance here, 9-2, pretty good odds here. Hopefully he stays there because I think he's a pretty logical alternative to the favorite. The number 4 is Data Man. This is a horse coming in off of a 4th place effort last time out at Kentucky Downs. So that kind of we keep repeating ourselves because, hey, Kentucky Downs, pretty good turf racing, kind of ready for all those horses to come back and run. Usually Keeneland is where they'll end up next. 2 races back was 5th in the United Nations, going a mile and 3/8 there at Monmouth. Just never got in the race, got too far behind, and that's kind of been his thing. He does get a little bit too far behind, and it makes it tough to win races of this caliber. He has been able to win a couple listed stakes races, though, and he's won 3 of those here lately. So he's in with a little bit of a shot. But again, how far back will he be, and how much pace will there be? That's going to be the big question. The number 5 is Always Above. This horse looks a little bit outclassed no matter how you look at it. Just 1 win in 17 starts, has stretched out in distance before, hasn't really been able to get the job done against lesser company in the allowance ranks. Not sure he's going to get it done here. The number 6 is Utah Beach. This is a horse running 2nd off the layoff. Last time out, ran 4th, beating 3 lengths in an allowance race. But you kind of look back at some of his races when he was in pretty good form. He won an allowance right here at Keeneland, I should say, by 4 3/4 back during the spring. He won an allowance going a mile and a half at Gulfstream. So he's won at this distance. He's got that going for him. He did step up to the grade 3 Louisville 2 races back, was 5th, beaten 6 3/4, or 6 1/4, I should say. Last time out, like I said, that probably was just a prep to getting back going and getting back in longer races. I think he's sitting on a pretty good race, honestly. I just don't know if a pretty good race for him is going to get the job done. And maybe an underneath type, I think might be able to outrun those 15-1 odds. You kind of look at his workout patterns. He seems to kind of be getting back into that top form, but will the top form for him be good enough to win this race? That's my biggest question mark with him. The number 7 is Tawny Port. And this is a horse, Tawny Port, that he's burning money, but he kind of always shows up in races sort of like this and looks like he can get the job done. And he's always decent odds, especially the last 4 races, but 4th, 3rd, and 3rd. But boy, 3rd by a neck, 3rd by a head, 3rd by a length and a half. That's his last 3 running lines. Last time out was the Kentucky Downs mile and a half race. Like I said, he got 3rd. The United Nations, the race we talked about earlier, he almost won that thing. Good horse. I think he's an underneath type again. He gets Irad Ortiz back aboard today. I think that will help. You go back to the last time Irad rode this horse. It was in the Man of War. That was a really tough race. But the time before that, the Pan American, which is, I think, kind of similar, going a mile and a half. It's a grade 2 down at Gulfstream. It's a similar race. He got a similar result, 3rd beating a neck, so he might just be that horse to put in 2nd and 3rd. I can't play him to win, and I think he will take a little bit of money. The number 8 is Big Blue Line. Big Blue Line coming off of an 8th place finish in the grade 2 John Henry at Santa Anita last time out. That was just 13 days ago. We're going to wheel this horse back here. Not for me. Seems to be a little bit outclassed. But look, I don't think he's absolutely crazy to hit the board. Just seems a little outclassed as far as picking a winner. The number 9 is Segoy. Segoy kind of looks like maybe could be Lone Speed. That might be a little bit tough to run down. You look at the Louisville 3 races back when he got the lead, he didn't let it go, and he went a mile and a half in gate to wire fashion. 2 races back, he went to a mile and 3/8 race. That was the Sherrywood Overnight Stakes and was 2nd, only beaten a half length. So got beat by Webslinger. That's not a bad horse, and it took a lot to run that horse down. Tried the Arlington Million last time out, going a mile and a quarter, and was outclassed. I mean, set the pace, but was very fast and got way ahead, and then faded to 5th, beaten 5 3/4. So, look, I think he's got a shot here if he can get to that lead, kind of mimic what he did in the Louisville 3 races back at Churchill Downs. I think he's in with a little bit of a shot. He's another one, though, I probably would stick to underneath, because I do think there's a couple of horses that are going to come get him. But I would be worried. That's definitely the one they're going to have to catch. Now, the number 10 Ohana Honor is a horse that could be up there with him to set that pace as well. If you go back 4 races back, this horse started right here at Keeneland and went gate to wire in a mile and a half race and did it very impressively, winning by 5 3/4. Stepped up to the Man of War, the grade 2 Man of War last time, or 3 races back, I should say, in his next start there after that allowance win. Got 2nd, beaten 4.5, got beat by Silver Knot. Silver Knot's very good. So, no harm in that one. Went to the Manhattan at Saratoga. That's a really tough race, measured time and Nation's Pride. 2 really good horses were able to beat him that day, but he was 3rd. And again, I thought he ran very good at 16-1. Came back to that last time out in the Bowling Green, another mile and 3/8 race. Grade 2 event, got 4th, beaten 6 1/4. Beat Silver Knot, Soldier Rising, and Strong Tide. Those are horses he's probably not going to ever beat. Those are also horses that aren't in this race, so that's good news for him. I think he'll sit a really good trip. I think he'll turn the corner with a chance. Is he good enough? That's going to be the main question, but he gets back to Keeneland and gets back to this distance, and he is one that is definitely taking a drop down in class for this one. And then finally, the number 11 is Bold Act. Bold Act, if you remember, last year showed up and won this race right here and did it pretty impressively, winning by 3/4 of a length. At odds of 5-2. Went over to Maidan for his next start, his first start of this year, and was a 2-length winner going a mile and a half as well. So naturally, he shows back up in the Elkhorn. We talked about the Elkhorn kind of being the spring version of this race, the Sycamore, the fall version, mile and a half. He's 2-5. Why would he not be 2-5? He just won the Sycamore and then won a grade 2 race, or a group 2 race, I should say, overseas. He gets 3rd, beaten a length and 3/4, but he got beat by Silver Knot. And again, he's not going to beat Silver Knot 9 times out of 10. However, he came back to the Louisville. There's nobody for him to be scared of there, right? He was 3-5 that day, and he lost again. He was a length and 3/4 length loser in that one. Segoy was able to beat him. And you fast forward again, goes to the overnight stakes there at Churchill, going 1 3/8, third, beating a length and a quarter. Segoy beat him, Webslinger beat him. So there's good and bad to this horse. Obviously, getting back to Keeneland is good. Getting back to the race he won, but again, at 3-1 and probably going to take more money than that, I'm not 100% confident in this horse. So with him going to be the favorite, I am going to go against him here. I don't think he's a strong enough favorite for me to back. I debated here as we go to who we're going to pick to win. I debated for a little bit. I went back and forth on this just a bit. I really think the number 3 Highway Robber is the one I'm going to go with. I kind of talked about him earlier. He finished second, only beating a half length that race there at Kentucky Downs in that Turf Cup. And, nice win at Ellis Park when going 1.25 miles. It just seems like with this horse stretching out, he's been pretty good. I think he'll be at a good price. I think he'll be right around, 4-1, 9-2, where that morning line is. So I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to try to beat the favorite. I'm going to go with number 3 Highway Robber to win this year's version of the Sycamore. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Sycamore Stakes live from Keeneland Friday, October 11th. That'll be race 9 on the card. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching this video. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Keeneland on Friday.